Hi friends, welcome to the channel Abhyas Together Commerce. In this video, we'll discuss the journal entries. In my last video, I have discussed the rules relating to the double entry system. If you have not seen it yet, please do watch it as they form the basis for the journal entries. If you have been thorough with the rules of double entry system, then it will be easy for you to understand the journal entries. Then what is journal entry? It is the first step in the accounting cycle. In this, we record the everyday transaction in a systematic order, day-wise. Then we'll have the date column and then we'll write the transaction, the type of transaction that have taken place on that particular day, and we'll write the amount that what we have spent or we have received it. And this forms the basic foundation for all other financial report, such as C's. We'll post the ledger entries only on the basis of the journal entries. From ledger, we prepare the trading trial balance or the profit and loss account or the financial balance sheet, which will be helpful for us to understand the financial status of a company. So this is the pro forma of the journal entries. In the first column, we'll have the date. In the next column, we'll be having the particulars where we write the type of the transaction. Suppose if we are purchasing it from a supplier, then we write the purchases account data to the supplier account. See, the purchases, the something goods are coming inside, it's a real account, right? Which we have discussed already in the previous video, the real account thing. And this, we write the narration here. This particular thing is called as a narration. That means we are explaining the type of the transaction. Then the next column is the ledger folio. Ledger folio is a connecting column to the ledger book. Whatever the particular journal entry will be even posted it in the ledger, I said you earlier. So whatever we write it there, we write the page number of that particular ledger in this particular column. Then the next one is the debit amount, and the debit amount and the credit amount will always be equal. Now let us move forward to some important entries before entering into the problems. The first one is capital account. For every business, whether it is a startup or whether it is an already running business, every business needs capital. That capital may be in the form of a cash or maybe in the form of a goods. So whenever a proprietor is bringing some cash or goods into the business, then we debit the cash account and credit the proprietor account. If in case he's bringing cash, suppose he's bringing in the form of goods, then we debit the stock of goods and we credit the proprietor capital. Similarly, sometimes the proprietor takes certain amount from the business, or he may take certain goods from the business. So whenever he is taking goods from the business, then we debit to drawings account and credit to cash account in case of drawing cash, and credit purchases account in case of drawing goods. Then the next entry is goods given for charity or cash given for charity. It's not always that we do business or we do something for earning money. Sometimes we even do something for as a towards kindness or for satisfaction. So we do that in the form of a charity. In that case, we debit to charity account and credit to cash or purchases account as cash is going outside or the goods are going outside. That is the real account entry. Then the next one is cash or credit transactions. Suppose in case of purchases, what is happening? The goods are coming inside. Debit what comes in? The real account, right? Debit what comes in? That means debited to the purchases account. And what is going outside? The cash is going outside. So credited to the cash account. Suppose it's a credit purchase. Then what is happening? The goods are coming inside. So we debit to purchases account. The creditor is the giver. He is giving us. So credit the giver, the personal account. So we debit to the purchases account and credit to cash account or the creditor account in case of a credit purchase, sorry. Then in case of a sale, cash is coming inside. Suppose I'm selling something, I'm getting cash, right? So debit what comes in? Again real account. So debited to cash account and credited to sale account. Suppose I'm giving it on a credit sale, then the debtor the receiver, debit the receiver personal account and credited to sale account. Then let me explain you one important entry called as a compound entry before going into the next type of an entry. Suppose there are two or more entries involving the same type of characters or fall under the same type of transaction. Then we combine those two and write in one particular entry. We are combining, so it's a compound, complex type, simple, complex. We have read it in our earlier classes, right? So in the same way, the compound interest, we are combining two entries into one particular entry. For example, X purchased machinery and furniture. See, he is purchasing machinery and furniture. Both are purchases only, and for both he is paying cash, right? So, machinery account, furniture account, what is going outside? Cash is going outside. So, machinery account debtor, furniture account debtor to cash account. Next, moving to the cash discount. Discount is allowed by a creditor to a debtor on payment of the cash amount. So whenever we buy goods in lump sum or whenever we pay the cash before the due date, then we will be given a small percentage of the discount by the creditor or the shopkeeper, right? Similarly, it applies to the business also. If an organization, that is a business or a seller, is giving a discount, if as a shopkeeper, if I am giving a discount to the customer, then what is happening? The discount is an expense to me. I am receiving the cash. Debit what comes in. It's a real nature. Cash is a real nature. So I am debiting the cash and I am debiting the discount as it's an expense, nominal nature. Debit all expenses and losses. So I'm debiting the discount account. Then credit the customer account, personal account. Credit the giver, customer or the debtor is giving me the cash account, cash, right? So I'm crediting his account. Then if the organization is receiving discount as a shopkeeper or as a business, if I am receiving the discount, then that discount will be a gain to me. The creditor, whoever is the creditor, he is the one who is receiving the cash. So debit the receiver, I am debiting his account and the cash is going out from my business. So credit what goes out. It's a real account. That's the reason I'm crediting the cash account. Then the discount is a gain to me in this particular thing, where the credit all incomes and gains nominal account. So I'm crediting the discount account. Then the opening entry. Now suppose I'm already a running business. I'm taking forward the previous year assets or the liabilities. I'm bringing forward them to the this year. Suppose I have purchased a machinery last year. I cannot leave them, right. I'm going to bring the same. I'm going to use the same machinery even in this year also. So I'm going to bring forward all the assets, and similarly I need to even bring the liabilities. Suppose I have a creditor. Now I can't say that last year I have taken loan, so I will not pay this year, right? I cannot say that, right? So even I need to carry them also for this year. So debit all assets and credit all liabilities and capital. Then purchase return. Suppose now I have purchased something, but that is damaged or something happened that is not up to the mark. Now what I need to do, I'll just return them, right? I'm purchasing and returning it. So it will be exactly opposite to the purchase entry. In purchase we have debited the purchase account and credited the cash account. But here we will debit the cash account and credit the purchases account. Similarly, if the purchase is on a credit basis, I didn't pay money yet, then I will debit the creditor account. Whoever is selling me, I will debit his account and credit the purchases account. Then the sales return. Similarly, when I have sold something, if they are damaged, definitely my customers will return me those goods back, right? Then this will be exactly opposite to the sales entry. Will debit the sales account because my goods are coming inside and my cash I need will debit the sales account and credit the cash or the debtor account because credit the cash, I need to return the cash to them. Credit what goes out, real entry, right? The cash account, cash is going outside, so I'm going to credit the cash account. Similarly, the debtor, credit the giver. Who is giving me? The debtor. The customer is giving the goods back. So I am crediting the debtor account. Now we'll look at this question. The journalize the following transaction in the books of Mr. X for the month of April 2020. So we are going to record all these transactions in the books of Mr. X. We are going to write the journal entries for all these transactions. So first let us look at the questions and then we'll move forward with the solutions. So on 1st April 2020, Mr. X started business with cash 1 lakh. So what he did, he started the business. That means it was his investment. It was his capital. Okay. Then on 4th April 2020, he purchased furniture for cash. It was a cash transaction. What he did, he purchased furniture for cash. Then on 4th, again he purchased goods from Mr. X, 25,000. In this statement, he did not mention that he purchased it for cash. That means it's a credit transaction. Then on 5th, he purchased goods for rupees 30,000 in cash. Have you noticed the difference between these two sentences? In the previous question, he mentioned that purchased goods from Mr. Y, but he mentioned the amount, but he didn't mention that he purchased it for cash. But in the next transaction, he clearly mentions that he purchased in cash. Okay, so this is a cash transaction, whereas this is a credit transaction. Next, on 8th April, he deposited cash into the bank. Now cash is going into the bank. Next, on 12th, he sold goods to Mr. A. Again, he sold goods to Mr. A. He did not mention that A has given money to him. So this is a credit transaction. And goods returned by Mr. A amounting to rupees 500. So Mr. A has returned the goods. That means this is a sales returns. We have sold goods to Mr. A and Mr. A is returning goods to us. Mr. A is our customer. He is returning the goods to us. So this is a sales returns. Then sold goods to Mr. B for cash. So have you noticed the difference between the 12th transaction and the 17th transaction? In the 12th, he said that the sold goods to Mr. A. So it's clearly, it indicates a credit sale. Whereas in this, he clearly mentions for cash. So this is a cash sales. Next, paid Mr. Y rupees 25,000. Why did we pay? Where did Mr. Y come from? So in the previous, we need to look at the previous transaction. So where is Mr. Y? Mr. Y is on 4th. We purchased goods from Mr. Y. So now we are paying that amount to Mr. Y. Okay, we are paying the same 25,000 to Mr. Y, which we have previously purchased on credit. Now paid salaries to the 15,000. So salaries are again an expense. It's a nominal account. Now let us look at the answers. The first one, Mr. X started business with cash rupees 1 lakh on 1st April 2020. So what is happening? Cash is coming into the business, right? Cash is coming inside. Debit what comes in. So we are debiting the cash account. Then what we are crediting the capital account of X. So on 1st 4th 2020, cash account debtor to capital account. Being Mr. X commenced business with cash. This is called as a narration. So the amount is 1 lakh. We'll mention it in the debit column and we'll also mention it in the credit column. The next one is purchased furniture for cash rupees 50,000 on 4th April 2020. So on 4th April 2020, the furniture is coming inside. Debit what comes in? Real account. Furniture. Furniture is an asset and assets are under real account. The rule of real account is debit what comes in. So we are debiting it and cash is also an asset. So cash is going outside, credit what goes out. So debiting the furniture and we are crediting the cash account. It's 50,000 and we're writing the narration as being Mr. X purchased furniture on cash. Then the next entry is on 4th, purchased goods from Mr. Y, rupees 25,000. So what are coming inside goods? So we cannot write goods account here. So what we write is purchases account. Then as I said you previously that there is no mention of cash here. So it's a credit purchases. So we'll write the personal account rule, credit the giver. So on 4th 2020, on 4th April 2020, purchases account, as the goods are coming inside, purchases account debtor to Mr. Y account, who is this is a real account and this is a personal account. 25,000 and 25,000. Being Mr. X purchased goods from Mr. Y on credit. Then on 5th, purchased goods of rupees 30,000 in cash. So on 5th 4th 2020, again goods are coming inside. So purchases account data to this time we are paying it in the form of cash, right? So cash is going outside. Credit what goes out to cash account. 30,000 and 30,000 in each, and being Mr. X purchased goods worth of rupees 30,000 on cash. Then the next entry is on 8th April, deposited cash into the bank. Now what is going outside? The cash is going outside, but we are getting the amount in bank, right? Debit what comes in. Bank account is increasing. Bank is a receiver. We can even write it in this way. The bank is a receiver. If we take bank as the personal account, the debit, the receiver. Banker is a receiver, and even the same rule, bank amount is a real account nature, right? Bank account is a asset nature, then it falls under the real account. Debit what comes in the bank, in bank the amount is increasing, it is coming into the bank, so banker will be debited and we credit the cash as the cash is going outside the business. Then being Mr. X deposited cash into the bank. On 12th, sold goods to Mr. A, rupees 10,000. So here also we didn't mention cash. So this is a credit sales. So the entry will be on 12th April 2020, A account debit the receiver to sales account. Here we'll be getting amount. Further in sales is an income. Through sales, business earns its income, right? So to sales. Being Mr. X sold goods to Mr. A on credit. On 15th April, goods returned by A amounting to rupees 500. So as is discussed previously, this is a sales returns. Now sales return is a loss for us. So whenever someone is returning the goods which they purchased from us, if they are returning, definitely that will be a loss. So we are debiting the sales return account which falls under the nominal category, and to A account as he is the giver. He is giving the goods, right? Credit the giver. Being Mr. A returned the goods to Mr. X which he purchased on credit. Then the next entry is on 17th, sold goods to Mr. B for cash rupees 20,000. So when the sale, when we have sold the goods, the cash is coming inside, right? So debit what comes in. Cash account debtor to sales account, as this sales is an income nature to the business. On 17th April 2020, cash account to sales account, 20,000 and 20,000. Being Mr. X sold goods to Mr. B on cash basis. On 20th, the business paid Mr. Y rupees 25,000. Mr. X paid Mr. Y rupees 20,000, which we have already purchased. We purchased those goods on the credit on 4th April 2020, which was the previous transaction. So on 20th April 2020, who is the receiver here? Mr. Y is receiving the cash, right? Mr. Y account data 2. The cash is going outside. Credit what goes out to cash account. Being Mr. X paid cash to Mr. Y for the previous purchases. On 30th, paid salaries rupees 15,000. Salaries is an expense to the organization or to Mr. X Whenever we are paying salaries, definitely that's an expense, that's a loss. Debit all expenses and losses, right? Then it's a nominal nature. And to cash account. What is going outside? Cash is going outside. Credit all. It's a real nature. Real income nature. Credit what all goes outside, will credit them. So on 30th April 2020, sales account debtor to cash account 15,000 on debit side and as well as on the credit side, being Mr. X paid salaries. So I hope you have understood. If you have any doubts, please comment in this below. And in our next videos, we'll come up with more sums on journal entries and also on the ledger entries. So thank you guys.